Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to the Minimum Battles Challenge, where we try to defeat Pokemon by battling as little as possible. Just a refresher on what I count as a battle: it's any trainer battle, win or loss, or any wild battle where you don't run away right away, because at least in the earlier Pokemon games, you can't really avoid wild encounters. We don't use items in battle, and we don't use the daycare, and this challenge has gotten increasingly difficult. A few months ago, I tried to do this challenge by picking Torchic, and it didn't go super great for me. We weren't able to get past the 7th gym. Previously, I'd done this challenge in Ruby and Sapphire, picking Mudkip, and it seems like that's going to be what we have to do in this run. I'm hoping it's not going to be too similar, and I did learn a lot of things from the Ruby and Sapphire run that we can use, but by and large, the gym leaders are tougher. With that said, let's get right into the video and talk about the first gym leader, Roxanne, who is really easy when you have Mudkip. All we need to do is use Water Gun on the first Geodude, Water Gun on the second Geodude, and then I reset. And the reason is, I actually want Talo to get a little bit of experience points. So you might wonder, why Talo? How do you have Talo? Well, let me explain as we win this battle. Very lucky miss there. So, I'll show off in a second that there are a few battles in Emerald where two trainers will either battle you one at a time, or they'll battle you together in a double battle. This depends on whether you have one or two Pokemon. Since there are 3 of these battles prior to getting a gift Pokemon, in Emerald, for the first time, doing an extra battle and catching a Pokemon actually saves battles in the long run. And since all we care about is how many battles we have at the end, we catch a Pokemon, and the reason I picked Talo specifically, as we knock out Nosepass here in a second, you know, once Roxanne is done using potions, but Talo covers Mudkip's biggest weakness, Grass Pokemon. Specifically, I'm worried about the second rival battle and the Grovyle, so Talo should be able to easily take it out with Wing Attack. For the most part, I intend to use Mudkip. You really don't want to split experience points too much because you only have a limited number of experience points you can even get. The rare candies plus the whatever battles, it looks like it's going to be around 60-ish battles. Remember, in Ruby and Sapphire, it was only 50 battles, if you can believe it. But yeah, for that reason, we don't want to level up Talo too much, but we definitely want it good enough to defeat Grovyle and Rival 2. So we defeated Roxanne. The next gym leader would be Brawly. Before battling him, I do all the stuff I need to do in Slateport City, including this double battle I spoke of earlier. You can see that my Talo is now level 12, so I have been leveling it up a bit. I would like it to get Wing Attack. That would make it much better. Also, it's just a good idea in minimum battles runs to do all the trainer battles you can do. These are all mandatory, by the way. None of these are optional. You're going to have to do these at some point. So might as well do them all first to make the gym leaders as easy as possible, because typically they are the ones that are going to give you the most trouble. Alright, skipping ahead a little bit, I decided to battle Brawly first. I'm going to use Talo, which you can see has Wing Attack now. A lot of experience points from that battle. Talo's able to knock out Machop really easily. Next comes out Meditite. Meditite likes to use Focus Punch, which charges up, and then if you attack, it doesn't do anything, but if you don't, it's 150 base power, so kind of a weird move, but works well enough. And then I get a crit against Makuhita, and our Talo levels up to level 16. I think that's fine. I did maybe want to get Mudkip a little bit of experience points. I was anticipating it knocking out Makuhita, but this should be fine. There should be enough experience points. Considering we were able to do this in 50 battles, and there's way more in Emerald, Mudkip or Swampert should be just fine, and this will make Rival 2, which is coming right up, a lot safer. Speaking of which, it's time to battle May 2. She leads with Wingull. We're going to lead with Talo. Wing Attack crits, which is really lucky. Next comes out Slugma. Wing Attack, Yawn is a bit of a problem. I will knock it out here. Thankfully, there's really very little Grovyle can actually do to Talo. Oh, never mind. It knows Pursuit and Quick Attack. Alright, I actually didn't think it could do that much, but Talo is not the bulkiest Pokemon, so I stand corrected there, but there is easy ways to get around that. Okay, so this time, I think you know what I'm probably going to do. We don't get the crit, and that actually is more of a problem than maybe I thought it would be. because although Mudkip, I meant to use Water Gun there, can easily take out Slugma, the next Pokemon obviously is Grovyle. It's the final Pokemon. It knocks out Mudkip, and Quick Attack now will likely take out Tailo. So that's a pretty huge issue. And this is kind of why experience point splitting is bad. If Tailo were our main Pokemon, easily would be able to tank that. In fact, we might even have a Swellow if we were just using it. Oh, this is good. Supersonic. I'm going to swap into Mudkip. Maybe we can have Mudkip knock out the Wingull. Yeah, actually, that works out quite well. We'll have Mudkip knock out the Wingull, and then we can swap Tailo in for Absorb, go for Wing Attack. Pursuit is fine. We have Quick Attack. It also has Quick Attack. No. That doesn't work, because the AI will always use Quick Attack if it can knock. I don't know how much Quick Attack does. This is unfortunate. I actually thought I'd planned this pretty well. You know what? An Oranberry could probably help me out here with both Pokemon. Oranberries are pretty useless after this point. I just really didn't think of it. Okay, let's try this again. So Wing Attack, Water Gun. Not exactly what I want to see. I probably would rather Supersonic or Growl. Alright, it took a few battles, but eventually it did work out. So we got Wing Attack, Supersonic, Miss Perfect. Now we can keep Tailo out, but there's no need. Just go into Mudkip, Ember. I'm going to use Water Gun. It's going to be a 2-hit KO. Yawn is fine. Water Gun knocks it out. Honestly, hitting Grovyle with Mud Slap would be super great, but that's alright. We would like a Marshtomp prior to battling Watson. Actually, I should have used Mud Slap. I didn't actually think I'd hit, but in theory, if we get a good roll, Wing Attack can knock out, and it does. So in the end, the torrent-boosted critical hit Water Gun actually made a pretty big difference, although we would have won anyway because of the Oranberry. So that's great. May is defeated. There are a few more mandatory trainers around that I can battle, and we're going to skip ahead to Watson, who was really, really tough for the Torchic run or the Combuskin run, but is going to be far, far easier, both because I'm going to do a better trainer order, so I'm going to get some trainers out of the way that I left for later because I forgot about them last time. And so now we can focus on Watson. He leads with Voltorb. We have Mudshot. Rollout is perfect. Mudshot does lower speed, and it's not enough to get us to outspeed. All right, next comes out Electrike. Mudshot does one-shot, and now we're at level 19. Magneton, it's double super effective. Unfortunately, we get confused, and it actually doesn't one-shot. That's not Sturdy, because Sturdy's not a thing. Watson uses Super Potion, which is fine. I think I'm just going to sacrifice... Actually, why do that? It's going to go for Shockwave. Yeah, perfect. And so it does split experience points a little bit, but we should be okay. Manectric comes out. We go for Mudshot. It's going to be a 3-hit KO. Quick Attack does decent damage, and Citrus Berry does restore 30 HP, but we do just enough with Mudshot to knock out Manectric and to beat Watson. That's not bad at all. Alright, so there's another battle before we get to Flannery that does tend to give us issues. You should know I actually did redo the Watson battle, so Tailo gained no experience points. But the next battle is Maxie. Maxie does tend to be kind of difficult. The biggest reason is that Maxie leads with Mightyena, who uses Intimidate, and then it goes for Sand Attack, which can be really annoying. Thankfully, we do have another Pokemon to swap into. However, it is still Tailo. If only it were Swellow, it would be a lot better. We're not doing all that much damage to Mightyena, although we're slowing it down. I can only swap so much to avoid the accuracy drops. If I swap too much, which is what I did here, Marshtomp doesn't have enough HP, although that Mud Slap really came in clutch, to knock out Mightyena. So now we would have to rely on Tailo, which, I mean, I don't really want Tailo gaining all this experience points, but let's just see if we can win. Zubat confuses Tailo, which hits itself in Confusion, and then Wing Attack. We can knock out Zubat, but now there is a Camerupt, and although Camerupt doesn't have a great move pool to deal with a flying Pokemon, it can use Tackle and knock me out at 1 HP. This battle actually took me 20 real-world minutes, which, keep in mind, that means roughly an hour if we were playing the game at single speed. I've taught Tailo's secret power to try and confuse Mightyena, and that was the strat I ended up going with, combined with Rock Smash to lower its defense. Yep, I'm resorting to Rock Smash and Confusion strats, along with everyone's favorite item, the Oran Berry. It was just a really big mess, and this is where we realize where experience splitting can hurt. Sure, it did potentially make Rival 2 a lot easier, but notice we're on battle 22, only 5 battles since Watson. That is pretty significant, and that means, oh, we got Marshtomp to camera up. Notice Water Gun doesn't actually one-shot, which I thought it would. That's really lucky that camera up didn't attack us. Now, you may notice Tailo is evolving, and some of you who are more familiar with Gen 3 might think, well, why didn't you evolve Tailo in the first place? Well, I messed up, but the reason is that I wanted Endeavor at level 26 for a strategy I was planning. If you recall, it was Norman that nearly ended my run with Combuskin, so I thought Endeavor strategy with Swellow plus Quick Attack could be really good, but Swellow would learn Endeavor too late, and this really ended up hurting me versus Maxie. Hopefully it helps out versus Norman. Thankfully, we have a fairly easy gym leader next in Flannery. Hopefully. There are no mandatory battles after Maxie and before Flannery, so we're stuck with Marshtomp and Water Gun, which is not ideal. It doesn't even one-shot a Numel. That's a bad sign. It comes close, but it doesn't do it. Slugma we will one-shot, but with Mud Shot, which doesn't do all that much to Numel. Even a critical hit Water Gun won't one-shot Camerupt. Once we get into Torrent, it would, but we're not going to get into Torrent. Overheat knocks me out, and although Tailo can take out the Camerupt, Torkoal comes out next at a much higher level and obliterates Tailo. I've been at this battle for 15 minutes, and it's not really getting any easier. We are consistently making to Torkoal with really good luck, and our Marshtomp has a ton of HP, but Torkoal can use Attract. That's okay, I can swap into Tailo, but it can only take one attack, and then it faints. And all Torkoal needs is a sun-boosted overheat, and that knocks me out. I may have made a serious error. I leveled up Tailo just too much. I should have relied much more on Marshtomp. I don't know what to do here. Another 15 minutes has gone by without anything resembling a victory. I mean, we can get to Torkoal, but that's about it. Sunny Day is not what you want to see turn 1, although if we time things correctly, and you can see Mudshot doesn't do any better than Water Gun does, maybe it'll run out by the time Torkoal gets out, and then it'll have to go for Sunny Day, which gives me just another turn to work with. Unfortunately, it is strong for Camerupt. We go for Mud Slap, it goes for Attract, and that means we have to swap. I have run around enough that Why Not can come in and tank the overheat. This is really useful for a couple of reasons. The sun is gone, and Camerupt's special attack is lower. Of course, we get a critical hit, making that irrelevant, but yeah, we ran around and got Why Not, who will be helpful later, I think. Torkoal goes for Attract. This is very annoying. It's very hard to get a good Mudkip, let alone a good female Mudkip, but man, would that have been helpful here. We got Torkoal to half health. Marshtomp's here. I go for Mud Shot, and I miss. Body Slam hits, but then we crits, and we win. Half an hour on Flannery. This better be all worth it when we get to Norman. Please say the Endeavor strat is gonna work. Please say all this struggle was for something. All right, I've battled all the trainers I can, and Swellow is gonna lead. You might notice we got the TM for return, and I anticipated Teeter Dance, so I have a Person Berry. We knock out Spinda, and then we knock out Vigoroth. Didn't get to use Endeavor strats, and you know what? I'm gonna reset. If you're wondering how much damage Return is doing, I ran around a bunch to try and get it to do as much as possible. I think it's maxed out. Once again, we knock out Spinda without it doing anything to me. Vigoroth goes for Slash. And yeah, Swellow just isn't strong enough to take out Vigoroth in 2 hits. This is not what I anticipated. I have messed up somewhere. I did some damage calcs and I thought it would be a 2-turn knockout, but it's not. Alright, well, Spinda goes for Facade, And that means Vigoroth just knocks me out. So it seems like it's a range, but in this kind of challenge, you can't just level up to make up for a bad calculation or bad luck. I'm not sure what to do here. Okay, Teeter Dance is what we want to see. And we do knock out Spinda. That's good. Vigoroth, it's not going to be a 2-turn knockout again. Do I have to restart again? Wait, no, I forgot something. In Dewford, I was doing calculations as if the Silk Scarf was equipped, which I actually didn't have yet. So let's go get the Silk Scarf and see if that 10% buff makes the difference, because I think it will. Keep in mind, I don't know my exact IVs, so that's part of why these calculations can be... Oh, that did a lot more. Of course, now we don't have the Person Berry, and we can sacrifice Why Not, but he uses a Hyper Potion, and we don't want that here. So what I think I should do instead is go for Secret Power. That gets it to half HP. Swap in Why Not. Now he won't heal. I don't care if Why Not faints. Psybeam knocks it out. Now Return should knock it out. Perfect. We're at full health for Vigoroth. Return. Okay, that's perfect. It would have been a 2 KO, but that crit may have done way more than I needed it to. Facade is fine. We have 26 HP. We don't have Endeavor because I messed up on experience points calculations, but maybe we can still knock out the slacking. It's loafing around. I go for Rock Smash with Anorith. It goes for Facade. Unfortunately, Anorith's unable to tank that. And now I need to go for Mud Shot. I actually outspeed it, but that was only due to Quick Claw, and then it easily knocks me out. So, progress. That's progress, but not quite good enough. Ideally, I would have used Endeavor, and that would have been what I needed. Oh, nice crit there on Spinda. Okay, let's try this again. Return, slash. Hasn't gotten a crit yet. So you can see with Silk Scarf, it is in fact a 2-hit KO. So return on Lanoon, that's not ideal. So, wait a minute. How do I avoid getting hit by Lanoon there? The only reason we were able to avoid it that first time was because of a critical hit. All right, as I battle Norman, let me think about this. How are we gonna do this? The strategy ended up, I can't believe it. This needed to be at level 26. Obviously, when I realized it wasn't gonna be at 26, I evolved it. I did have the idea of using Dig on Marshtomp. With Dig, as long as you do it in the right pattern, you will always avoid being hit by slacking. The key is to do it in that right pattern. I've been at this for just over 5 minutes though, and I'm barely getting to slacking. So I think we can conclude the strategy has been a failure. It's been a failure. I'm also trying to get Spinda to heal because I don't want slacking to heal. Of course, it doesn't the one time I do want it to heal, so that's great. Vigoroth goes for Slash, we knock it out. Sometimes Lanoon will go for Belly Drum, and I'm really hoping it does. I go for Return, it goes for Facade and knocks me out. Marshtomp can knock it out potentially. Slash, Mud Shot, and yeah, not enough to knock it out. I just don't know what to do. I messed up, guys. I messed up. The strategy didn't work. Sometimes you have an idea on paper and it seems to be so good, but then in practice, it just doesn't work. And this seems to be a case of me overthinking it. I should have just used either Talo or Mudkip, not both. Now we have a situation where neither Pokemon is good enough to take on Norman. So frustrating when this happens. I think I have to start over. Yep, Lanoon knocks me out. Although it looks like we got a higher range. We might be able to knock it out here. Gonna go for Dig. And that is enough to knock out Lanoon. So I'm at level 24. Now out comes Slacking. And I'm gonna have to go into Anorith to tank whatever attack this is gonna be. Facade knocks out Anorith. And now I just have to hope. So I go for Mud Slap, try to lower accuracy, and it misses. Then I go for Rock Smash to lower defense, and it works. Now I'm gonna get into the pattern, but if you're wondering, well, why didn't you just do that right away? There's a simple answer. We only have 10 power points for Dig, and it's not doing that much damage. Additionally, Slacking does have potions, as well as a Citrus Berry. So I have to kind of be risky a little bit use Mud Slap again, use Rock Smash again, because if I run out of Dig, this is not going to work out. I have so far gotten really lucky and I've gotten 3 misses, but I'm going to need to get a 4th, and I get one. This is absurdly good luck. Like, absurdly good luck. And now I think the pattern might be enough. No, there's another Hyper Potion. See, this is why I needed Spinda to use it. There is 2. I knew that. I don't know why I was thinking that we were done. Now, we can go for Dig one last time, but we're not safe anymore. I go for Mud Shot. All right, you know what? I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take it. I can't. How lucky was that? I don't know the math there. We got 6 consecutive misses with not that many accuracy drops. That was absurdly low percentage, and certainly there was a better way to do this. But it's done now. The point of minimum battles is just to see if we can do something in theory, and it seems like it's not just a theory, it's a game theory. No, it's practice. That was what I was going to say. But every time I hear theory, I think of that. So the internet has truly changed my brain. All right, so we've made it past Norman. There is a lot of game between now and the next mandatory gym, which is Winona. Still, it's less battles than you'd think, and for now, I'm just gonna not heal and see how this is gonna go before I heal up and come up with a better strategy. I was just kind of curious. You might have noticed we have a new Pokemon, and that Pokemon is gonna come in clutch probably during the run, but we have a special attacking Marshtomp, which is never a great idea. We have Wobbuffet, which I can use. We have Cast Form. I'm going to go for Wobbuffet. Unfortunately, it gets confused. And what I'm going to try to do is have Pelipper knock me out. It doesn't want to do that, however, until I hit myself in confusion and then Destiny Bond doesn't work. I also probably should heal Swellow. There's no real reason not to. I just forgot the first time, but that just goes to show you it's the first battle. We also can teach Shockwave to Cast Form. I don't really anticipate needing Shockwave. It's not a super great move, and maybe it will help versus Pelipper. I mean, giving up experience points is kind of bad, but again, I do know we can do this with only 50 battles, and considering we're going to be likely around, I don't know, it seems to be around 70. If Cast Form can help me win a battle, I'm not going to stop it. Okay, so now we have battle number 2. Same thing happens as last time. Using up the Hyper Potion here, really good. Swablu's really terrible. And we're going to knock it out with Swellow. Now we have Tropius. This is perfect for Swellow, although Marshtomp does have Ice Beam. I'm thinking about who I want to gain the experience points, and I realize it's not a big deal if Swellow does. Tropius goes for a very annoying Sunny Day Synthesis strat, which, yeah, it's just annoying. Then it goes for Aerial Ace, so we're able to knock it out. That's 2 down, and Swellow hits level 28, and that means Swellow can learn Endeavor. We can remove Secret Power, which we're not really using anymore, and now if our HP gets low enough, we might be able to do some Endeavor Revenge KO shenanigans, which could be really fun. Okay, so Pelipper loves to use Protect. It's very, very, very annoying, and it's not going to be a 2-hit KO with Return, which is also annoying, but Water Gun gets us down to 12 HP. And that means when Skarmory comes out, I can go for Endeavor. It knocks me out with Steel Wing. I can go into Marshtomp. It goes for Hyper Potion, however. But that's not the end of the world. After that crit, Surf's going to be a 3-hit KO. And now as long as Altaria doesn't knock me out, I think we're good. But it knocks me out. So that was unfortunate. If we'd been able to hit with Ice Beam, I actually don't think it would one-shot. Altaria is fairly bulky. But I think we have the pathway to victory here. I think we just have to put everything together. All right, so I've been battling Winona for about 10 minutes, and I've put a few things together, but obviously we still haven't won yet. I'm leading with Marshtomp now with Ice Beam. I find that to be a little more useful. That will influence which Pokemon comes out next. It's going to be Tropius. Ice Beam doesn't knock it out, but Tropius's only grass move is actually Solar Beam, meaning can either go for Sunny Day to set up, or it can go for Solar Beam, which requires a turn to set up anyway, and I can knock it out with Ice Beam. Pelipper comes out next. It tends to go for Protect turn 1, giving me a free swap. I have Secret Power because I'm not level 28 yet. I get confused. I can go back into Marshtomp. Hyper Potion here is actually fine. I can swap back into Swellow. It goes for Supersonic and misses. It's paralyzed, meaning it was going to go for Protect. It confuses Swellow. That's okay. Back into Marshtomp here. Protect fails, and I'm going to go for Strength and knock out Pelipper. Now out comes Skarmory. Skarmory is really, really annoying, so I'm going to go into Cast Form. It goes for Aerial Ace, and I'm going to go for Shockwave, just do a little bit of damage. I could have potentially gone for Rain Dance as well. I thought Shockwave would be a little more worth it. It goes for Sand Attack, so I go for Surf. Then, because of the Accuracy drop, I'm going to sacrifice Anorith. It is able to tank an Aerial Ace, but that's about all it does, and then it gets knocked out. Just there for fodder. You get the fossils right after you beat Flannery, by the way, in case you're wondering, how'd you get an Anorith? You can revive them in Rustboro City. So we get a clutch critical hit, and we're in Torrent range. So we have 9 HP remaining. Altaria can knock us out. It's a tough call what I do next here. I think what I'm going to do is swap in Swellow and try to get a little cheeky here. The critical hit is fine. Now I just need Destiny Bond to hit. Oh, we got Quick Claw. We got Quick Claw. That means Destiny Bond is definitely going to hit. Let's go. And Marshtomp gets all the experience points. Perfect. So that's how Wobbuffet works. Quick Claw Destiny Bond is the name of the game. Is it a lucky strategy? Yeah, but that's the game's fault for giving me why not. You didn't want me to use that strat? Shouldn't have given me a Pokemon with Destiny Bond for free. I mean, Game Freak clearly anticipated this game to be played with minimum battles. It's so obviously designed for that. Now, if you remember the Ruby and Sapphire playthrough, here's where something just amazing is about to happen. Fly. In Ruby and Sapphire, we did not have a flying Pokemon, and that was really bad for the Elite Four, where Swampert didn't have a lot of choice as to what moves it was going to get. It had to have a lot of HMs in order to get through Victory Road, and then there was no way to get back from Victory Road. Part of why Swellow is on the team is not just to help out in various situations that we've seen, but we needed a Pokemon with Fly. Could Wingull have done it? For sure, but the thing I liked about Swellow is that it resists grass, while Wingull and Pelipper don't. Did I make the right call? That's up for you to decide. But as I do some backtracking to get various items I need, let's talk about the gym that ended my run in the last video, Tate and Liza. It's a double battle with tough psychic Pokemon. I don't know if everything we've done will allow us to get a victory here. I would hate this run to end here too. I'm thinking we should be able to win because Surf is super effective, at least against Lunatone and Solrock, but the Xatu and Claydol could be problematic. Not sure how we're going to do this, but there's only one way to find out. You may notice we're on battle 53. That's because the Team Magma section really increases the number of battles. We have more battles prior to Tate and Liza than we did in the entirety of our Ruby Sapphire run. All right, now on to the run. So what we're going to be doing is resetting a lot, because Xatu is arguably the scariest Pokemon since it isn't weak to Surf. And so if Wobbuffet doesn't get the Quick Claw, although I see how much Earthquake does just from my own knowledge, I reset shortly thereafter. And this is going to continue until we get Quick Claw, which is only a 20% chance. We don't get it here, we reset. And that sucks, but this is tough. This is really tough. We're not going to be able to deal with Xatu, and this is the perfect time to use Wobbuffet. So, once again, no Quick Claw, reset. This could take a few minutes. One more, and then I'll cut away to when we get it. Maybe we'll get it right here. All right, we got Swampert, we got Surf, and there's Destiny Bond. All right, we're down to 3 Pokemon, all of which are weak to Surf, and Solrock comes out first. Unfortunately, Claydol gets a critical hit, but that does put me within Torrent range. However, since Claydol went first, that's going to be a bit of a problem for Swampert that gets knocked out. And I think we lost. Great. I'm going to do some damage calculations, but one thing we'll see when we look at Swampert's stats, it is such a better physical attacker than a special attacker. Its special attack just isn't very good. It's got a quirky nature, meaning no stats receive the 10% buff or debuff. It just naturally isn't a great special attacker, and in Gen 3, that's what water moves are. 20 minutes of battles, I wasn't getting particularly close, but I had a bit of an idea. This guy right here sells vitamins, and we have a ton of items I don't need, including PP Up, PP Max, Zinc. Now you might think I'm gonna want calciums, raise that special attack, but I realized that in fact, the bigger issue is that Claydol was outspeeding us. If we wanna win, we're gonna have to outspeed Claydol, and what would help us with that? Carbos. And we can buy a ton of Carbos. And I also have 3 rare candies. Once all that is done, Swampert's speed goes up from, if you remember, it was at 61 before, and now at level 39, it's at 72. So this is going to be, as you can see, I'm saving my first battle after I've used rare candies, after I increased my speed. Of course, we're going to need some luck with Wobbuffet, and we don't get it. So it's not going to be a first try victory. But let's see if we can get a first try Destiny Bond victory. Kind of the modified first try victory here. So second try, we get Destiny Bond. Bye, Zatu. Nice to see ya. Don't come back, hopefully. Alright, next Swallow comes out because it avoids the Earthquake. Surf does decent damage. It does about half the Soul Rock. And we're taking way less damage. Unfortunately, Soul Rock does have a Citrus Berry, but after return, we're going to knock out Claydol since we outspeed it. Solrock takes in Sunlight, meaning it didn't attack, meaning we can knock it out here with Surf, and I decide to use Fly on Swellow so that Psychic will miss, do a little bit of damage, and Surf knocks it out. Literally, all we needed to do was level up a little bit more, and there are lots of rare candies in this game, as well as buying Carbos. We have now reached a new personal best in this challenge. This is uncharted territory. We have never beaten Tate and Liza in an Emerald minimum battles run. So I don't know what happens here. I mean, I know there are these double battles with Team Magma, but this should be fine. Steven's going to help us out. Actually, we're going to help him out more like it. But I think I'm just going to skip ahead to Juan. I just really don't think this battle's going to be all that tough. And we know a Swampert with a bad moveset can beat the Elite Four. Our Swampert should be able to do so much easier since it probably is going to be at an even higher level. One thing I do want to talk about a little bit that some of you might be questioning is why not get a Pokemon with pickup for rare candies? So there's a simple answer to that. Beyond the fact that Fly gives us access to better moves by allowing Swampert to forget its HMs, the other issue is that in Emerald, no longer will pick up rare candies at any level. And in Ruby and Sapphire, it doesn't save any battles to catch a wild Pokemon. So as far as I can tell, never is pickup going to be a pivotal part of a minimum battles challenge. That would make these challenges terrible because essentially it would be resetting for rare candies all the time. We're really, really lucky it just works out that should never actually be a viable strategy. I talked for long enough that you got to see how easy the Magma battle was with Steven, and now we can go and battle Juan. We don't have a great type matchup seeing as we are water ground and Juan is water, but hopefully it doesn't take us too long to win. Hard to know. So Juan leads with the best Pokemon in the entire game, Love Disc. I kid. We can go for Strength, and it's going to be a 2-shot. Unfortunately, Attract and Sweet Kiss, very, very annoying. We can swap here. I'm going to swap into Swellow. It's level 30, so you can see Swellow's put in some work, and it actually knocks out Love Disc. Celio comes out next. I'm just going to go for Endeavor. Water Pulse is going to knock me out, but, oh, I didn't mean to swap into Wobbuffet there. Slight oopsie. Sometimes I'm talking to chat. This was streamed live on Twitch, which can cause misclicks when I'm not paying attention, so my bad there, but we'll just try this over. we're going to go for Strength. Water Pulse is perfect. And then Water Pulse, great. So Swampert is gone by the Love Disc. Next comes out Whiscash. We're going to go for Surf. It goes for Amnesia. Okay, I go for Ice Beam and actually get a critical hit. I was trying to get a Fluke Freeze, but I'll take it. Next, I'm going to swap in Anorith here. It's going to get knocked out by Water Pulse. And now I want Swellow. So I'm going to go for Endeavor. Aurora Beam knocks it out. So it has 79 HP. Hopefully that's enough for Swampert to knock out with Strength. It's not, and I get confused. And then Hyper Potion. This is going to be irritating. All right, I got to come up with a strategy. All right, so here's what I think might work. We're going to lead with Swellow. We're going to go for Return. It's going to go for Water Pulse. That's great. We tank it. Now we're going to go for Quick Attack. And the reason we do that, not only did I want to be at lower HP. Oh, this is perfect. Oh no, why am I confused? No. Actually, you know what? That's fine. I can go into cast form here. But the idea here was to get Endeavor. And I'm going to use Sunny Day actually to make the water moves a little weaker. Perfect. Now I can go to Swellow. I can knock out Love Disc, so I don't have to worry about Swampert losing any HP to this thing or being confused. Celio's really annoying, so I go for Endeavor. We have wasted a potion. We have put Celio at very low health. I say this is good. The sun fades at the perfect moment. Surf crits, actually, and now we have Rain Dance, which isn't great. We'll knock out Whiscash. Crawdon comes out next. Due to the rain, I actually go for Surf, and we get a really clutch critical hit. Now all that's left is Kingdra. Kingdra is scary. It's a dragon type. I'm going to swap in Anorith to try and get the rain to end. Unfortunately, it goes for double team. Now if we get Quick Claw, we win. So let's hope for that. No Quick Claw. But that would work. Ice Beam does a ton of damage to Wobbuffet, but knocks it out. And it does a ton of damage to Swampert. And it has Rest. And Chesto. Alrighty. So we're going to have to rely on a 1 in 5 chance right at the end of the battle. Great. Aw, come on, J-Rose. You must have figured out a better strategy. Unfortunately, no. Pretty much the strategy you saw was the best way of dealing with everything. We get Swellow down to 4 HP. I'm not going to bother with Endeavor since that would actually result in a Hyper Potion. It's actually better if we just use 2 strengths because Celio's really annoying. Whiscash, it's going to be a 3 KO. That's fine. Strength, Rain Dance, that's really annoying. There's Hyper Potion. That's really annoying. Even with the rain, I think Strength's going to do more. We knock out Whiscash. It's unfortunate we don't have Earthquake yet. We're going to get it really soon. Crawdont goes for Crabhammer. Thankfully, not enough to knock me out because Crawdont has terrible special attack. And now it all comes down to this. We're going to swap in the Anorith to let Kingdra knock it out quickly, which it does. And now it's just a 1 in 5 chance. If Wobbuffet goes for Destiny Bond, we win. And that's what happens. We win. It is unfortunate that that is the best strategy, but it really is. But hold on, J-Rose. Earthquake's a TM. Why not just use the TM? I've talked about this in a lot of my videos. It's very important versus the Elite Four, especially with minimum battles, to save every TM. We might need 6 or 7 move slots, so having an additional Earthquake in case we need to teach over Earthquake once, it could be invaluable. If there's a way to get past a trainer without having to use a TM, always, always, always do that. It can make runs so much easier, especially runs like these where we can't go back. Once we've taught a TM, we can't just over level to get past that problem. If we're stuck, we have to start again. And between the failed Torchic run, a failed Mudkip run that ended at Norman due to a mistake I made, and this run, I've spent probably about 20 hours on this challenge. I'd really like this run to be the one that finally beats the Elite Four. There is one more battle before the Elite Four, just like in Red and Blue. We have Wally. He's a lot easier, though, than Rival 6 from Red and Blue. And we actually get some pretty good luck with a freeze, although it's just going to make him use a full restore. But then we knock it out, so it was a range. Roselia is a little scary, but part of the benefit of having higher leveled Pokemon than I normally would, like Swellow, is the fact that we could potentially use them in a situation like this. I actually outspeed Roselia, and although Fly doesn't one-shot, after return, it'll knock out Roselia. So Swellow is still providing benefit to my team, even though it's pretty underleveled. And I don't have to worry about Magneton as much. Well, mostly because I'm a Swampert and it wouldn't do anything. But Endeavor helped there too. Pretty good stuff. And I could have saved it, but I don't think I need to. I'm going to go for Surf. Assist Double Team is annoying. Full Restore is even more annoying. But we're going to knock out Delcatty without any problems. The final Pokemon is Gardevoir. Notice, other than Ice Beam, we're an HM team. We need Waterfall to get through the Victory Road. We need Surf because it's a good attack. And we need Strength to get through the Victory Road. This all goes to say that while Swampert is probably going to get all the glory, Swellow has provided immeasurable value to the team, and its contribution should not be understated. But alright, let's get real. The Elite Four are going to be tough. We're going to save between every single battle because it's probably going to take many, many attempts. We've done something similar before, but this Elite Four is a lot tougher. We don't have Steven at the end, which is weak to ground and water. Instead, for us, we have a much tougher Wallace, but hopefully it all goes well. Let's start it off. So as I do some damage calculations, apologies for the pause here, you can see this is battle 67. So there's going to be 71 battles in Emerald, a massive increase, probably one of the biggest for a third version until Black 2, White 2, I would think. I'm going to lead with Anorith, and Mighty Anna quickly takes it out. That's good. Now I have to decide who is going to come in next. I choose you, Swampert. I'm going to go for Brick Break, which I've taught. It goes for Sand Attack, which is annoying. Sydney uses a full restore. We don't miss with Brick Break. And then I go for Earthquake and knock out Mighty Anna. Cacturne is going to come out next. I miss with Brick Break. It misses with Cotton Spore. It's weird that Cacturne didn't just immediately go for Needle Arm. It goes for it now versus Cast Form, and it's going to be too little too late. What strange AI decision making, and because of that, Swampert's going to be able to take out Cacturne. I want to see how much Ice Beam does to Shiftry. It does some pretty good damage. It goes for Extra Sensory, and Brick Break takes it out. I'm at level 47 now. Crawdaunt is not going to be super tough. Brick Break's going to be a 2-hit KO. Swords Dance, not going to worry about that. And now the final Pokemon is Absol at level 49. I go for Surf. It goes for Slash. It uses its Citrus Berry. I go for Surf again. It survives on like 1 HP. It goes for Full Restore. Another Surf. And I get the crit. And first try victory versus Sydney. Not bad. I mean, Sydney wasn't so tough in the Ruby Sapphire run. But first try victory is pretty darn good. Especially when I really was just trying to see what Sydney would do to all my Pokemon. This wasn't even necessarily the A strategy. I have, as you may notice from my bag, a ton of rare candies I could have used, but I guess we'll hold off for now. Phoebe will probably be a lot more difficult. She's very trolly, very annoying. Let's see how it goes. Phoebe leads with Dusclops that, as far as I can tell, always goes for Protect turn 1. And Earthquake is doing almost half, but not quite, since if it did half, then Dusclops would have knocked itself out. I go into Swellow here. Swellow can't do all that much. I'm going to go for Fly. It goes for Curse, which is not bad. It's basically knocking itself out for me. I'll go into Swampert here to finish the job. It goes for Protect, which fails. I think Surf's fine. It protects, and then it fails, and then Surf knocks it out. 1 down. Next comes out Banette. I go for Earthquake. Banette surprisingly doesn't levitate. Shadow Ball does a ton of damage. It lowers my special defense, which shouldn't matter because Shadow Ball is a physical move. Sableye, Earthquake does a lot. Double Team hopefully won't matter, and Surf does knock it out. 2 Pokemon left, including another Banette. I go for Earthquake and get a critical hit. Let's go! And now, I think all we need to do... I'm going to go into Anorith here. It's going to get knocked out via Shadow Ball. And now, can we get a Quick Claw? Nah. I was hoping for it, but we're going to have to go Quick Clawless here. I'm going to go for Earthquake. It does everything. Let's go. 2 Elite Four members, 2 first try victories. This is great. The next Elite Four member is Glacia, the Ice type trainer. She could be difficult because we are not resisting her, seeing as we are ground type. We do have Brick Break. I'm shocked how well this is doing. We have a bunch of Ethers and Elixirs, so we shouldn't run out of Power Points. Could this be the run? I don't know. Let's see. Glacia leads with Celio, but this time we do have Brick Break, and I've used the rare candies because, well, remember how annoying Celio was last time? This time it won't be as annoying. Brick Break did enough to cause Glacia to use full restore, so that's good. We also have Shell Bell, which is restoring most of what Hail is doing. I mean, now I'm down 10 HP. The Glalie comes out next. Brick Break doesn't quite one-shot it either, but Icy Wind misses. That's pretty lucky. And we knock out the Glalie, and we have 176 HP. Celio 2 comes out as Hail stops. We have pretty much restored our entire HP, although we're going to lose some of that to Hail. And we've knocked out Celio, so there's only 2 Pokemon left, including another, say it with me, Glalie. And it is just as mean, it is just as angry, but it is just as effective. With its Ice Beam, we're going to restore most of that with another Brick Break, although the Hail is chipping away. We have 141. Is Hail going to hit again? It stopped. Okay, Wall Rain comes out. Brick Break does half. Shell Bell heals a bunch. Ice Beam doesn't freeze. I'm going to go for... I don't want to heal here. So Surf should be good. And then Ice Beam, no freeze. Brick Break. Man, this... Remember how difficult this was in Ruby and Sapphire? So different. So different. You know, Emerald does have the reputation of being the harder game, and it typically is. But sometimes by giving the player extra battles, extra resources, which Emerald does, in a challenge like this, it makes it easier. With that said, although I think Drake should be kind of easy because we have an ice move, I think Wallace will be extremely difficult. So we're not out of the woods yet, but I'm stunned we have 3 battles, 3 victories. Shelgon likes to use Protect, and it does. Now I go for Ice Beam after it fails Protect, and we actually one-shot if you can believe it. Altaria comes out next, and this one I'm not surprised we one-shot because it's double super effective. Next comes out Kingdra. This is the scariest Pokemon. I go for Earthquake, it does a ton. Dragon Dance raises its speed. Smoke Screen is annoying, but we have plenty Pokemon to sacrifice. Am I just gonna go for Ice Beam? Yeah, I am, but I miss. And then I'm like, all right, that was a terrible idea. Let's go into Swellow. Perhaps we'll get lucky and we'll be able to use Endeavor, but doesn't happen. It's okay. Flygon uses another Earthquake, and that could be bad. Salamence, if it outspeeds us, could knock us out, and it does with Dragon Claw, and doesn't knock us out. Wow! I mean, the reason for that is that Dragon is a special move, so Dragon Claw is not going to do as much as it would in Gen 4, but we beat every member of the Elite Four on our first try. Of course, the hardest member, as we keep talking about, is the champion. This may be where we get stuck, but I am just so happy we had some really, really challenging battles in the mid-game, but the late game has gone outstanding, which is the part of the game I was most concerned about, since it typically is the hardest. Still, we have the last battle remaining. I don't know how this is going to go. I got no more preamble. Let's hope it goes well. Wallace leads with Wall Rain, and we're going to go for Earthquake. We do outspeed, that's good, and we actually crit and knock it out. Now, Ludicolo is where I'm scared, and I'm thinking where we might need some cheese. We swap in Anorith, and I'm thinking the only way we're going to beat Ludicolo with its Giga Drain is by using Destiny Bond Wobbuffet. Let's just confirm that to be the case. We'll send out Swellow here. Surf knocks it out. Now, as you would expect, I do have Focus Band enabled for Focus Band Endeavor Cheese, but Focus Band only activates 1 out of every 10 times. We did save, and we're going to actually save here because I anticipated Wallace being so difficult. Our streak might be broken, but my resolve is not. We should be able to win. We just might need to reset a ton. Having said that, we also got a critical hit in our first attempt, so I do want to see what happens if we don't. Blizzard doesn't do all that much. With Shell Bell, we have roughly 30 HP lost, which is fine. Anorith has done a very, very good job being a switch-in Pokemon that can faint, and let's hope Wobbuffet can do the job. It cannot. All right, let's try one more time, and if I don't get it here, we'll just skip ahead due to the magic of editing. Woo. Okay, hopefully it goes for Rain Dance or something, doesn't do damage. Double Edge, ooh, that does a lot more, but not a huge deal. We have 153, so we're 10 HP down on where we were last time. Anorith, MVP of the team. Double team's fine. Giga Drain. All right. So now will Wobbuffet save the day? It does. Great. Okay, so Ludicolo was the scariest Pokemon, but that doesn't mean the rest of Wallace's Pokemon aren't also scary. I don't really need Endeavor, and I'm going to swap right back into Swampert here. Tentacruel comes out next. It doesn't actually outspeed, shockingly enough, and we knock it out, and we're pretty much at full HP now. Whiscash, I'm going to go for Surf. Just wanted to see how much that would do. Now I go for Earthquake, which does way, way more, and we knock out Whiscash, and we're at full HP. Gyarados intimidates me. This could be bad. I go for Ice Beam. It goes for Earthquake. Another Ice Beam. Dragon Dance. This isn't good, because now it's going to heal. All right, I'm trying to make sure it doesn't use a potion here, and maybe we'll get... Nah, we didn't get the Focus Band. So even if we get past Ludicolo, Gyarados is pretty scary. We don't have an electric move or a rock move for it right now. This could be tough. There is a lot of resetting versus Wallace, because the only way conceivably to get past Ludicolo is to either rely on Quick Claw Destiny Bond or Focus Band Endeavor Quick Attack, neither of which are particularly likely. To get more attempts in, I'm going to go for the more likely of the two strategies, the Quick Claw strategy, because you never know what can happen. And obviously, I'm not going to show you the rest of the battles, but there are many of them where the Quick Claw simply didn't activate. Alright, so we've already seen what happens with Tentacruel. I can't believe we outspeed, but that's excellent because we're not poisoned or anything. And after we knock out Whiscash, once again we should be around full HP. Although it used Earthquake instead of Amnesia, so we won't actually be that close, which is bad. However, something's about to happen that can be pretty darn good. We get a freeze. Now, the best thing we could do with a freeze is set up. Unfortunately, I have no way to set up, and all that's going to happen is I get Gyarados to heal, and then it unfreezes. Unfortunately, one mistake I did make was not getting Lepa Berries, which you can get an infinite amount of. If I did that, we'd have more power points for Ice Beam. That's going to make this a little tougher, but we also need to put Gyarados in a good range so that it doesn't heal. Ignore the freeze. Even if we don't get a freeze, we need it to faint in 4 hits. We've been at this for over half an hour now, so the difficulty I was anticipating, it's here. I've modified my strategy some to get Wailord to use one of the full restores, but Wallace has a lot of full restores, so it's only a little helpful. He also won't just use all the full restores on his first Pokemon. I think he has 4 of them. Yeah, it's annoying. We already know what I'm going to do for Ludicolo, so we're just going to speed past that. And in fact, we can even speed past Tentacruel, and we can speed past Whiscash. Now, we get another freeze on Gyarados, and you can see I have Endeavor, because we've gotten our Swampert to have very low HP, and maybe with Endeavor, we can get past Gyarados, and maybe even, there's only one Pokemon left, Milotic. If we could get Endeavor on Milotic, and then just knock it out with Quick Attack, that would be the battle. We only need one lucky thing to happen, and that's it. Gyarados gets me down to 27 HP, and I think this could be it. I think this could be it. We use Endeavor, Surf knocks me out, but here's the thing. I think there's another Hyper Potion. Citrus Berry activates, and there wasn't, but Focus Band didn't activate. We couldn't use Return, and unfortunately, while we do get to Milotic, and we got there with Endeavor, and we got there while Wallace used up all his potions, still it wasn't enough. We've been at this battle for over an hour, and we've only made it to Milotic one time, the time you have already seen. Unfortunately, I can't get Wailord to survive on 1 HP. Not the biggest deal as we saw, but not great. As you can expect, this is a battle where Wobbuffet is going to get Destiny Bond, and we're going to knock out all the Pokemon leading to Gyarados. Gyarados, we get a critical hit, but it goes for Dragon Dance right away. It goes for Hyper Beam, which is actually pretty good, because that means it needs to recharge, and we can knock it out quickly. Milotic comes out though, and there are plenty of potions to spare. I go for Earthquake, it goes for Surf, and I could go for Endeavor here. It's a tough call. Instead, what I'm going to do is go into Cast Form. It's going to go for Ice Beam, and I don't know what to do. Earthquake did just under half, so let's send out Swallow and use Quick Attack. That should put Milotic within range to feint with Earthquake. Oh my gosh, I completely forgot about Citrus Berry. How much No way! That wasn't even a crit! We did it! I can't believe it! What crazy good luck. We must have gotten a minimum roll and then a maximum roll. That is insane. I can't believe that happened. All right, we did it. 71 battles, just under 8 hours of real time. We have beaten Emerald in minimum battles. Or have we? Because according to YouTube comments, which we know are the ultimate authority on everything, apparently if you don't defeat Steven Stone, it doesn't count. So let's go do that. I have a much better tight matchup versus Steven, but I'm at a much higher level disadvantage this time. And you can see, Surf is doing next to nothing. I mean, much less than you'd expect versus Skarmory. We do knock it out and get to level 62 with 117 HP. I use Earthquake on Aggron, which is double super effective. It doesn't knock it out, but thankfully Aggron goes for Solar Beam, allowing Surf to finish the job. Credilli comes out next, and I think you know what's going to happen here. I have Beldum, so welcome Beldum. Never used that. I'm going to have to probably go for Wobbuffet Destiny Bond strats here, and it doesn't work. So yeah, get ready for a whole bunch of resetting. It took almost 10 minutes, but watch what we're going to do. We're going to use Swallow, and we're going to wait for Focus Band to activate, which is very unlikely. Then we're going to wait for Steven to use his full restore and use Endeavor again. But wait, it gets better. Steven likes to withdraw his Skarmory at this point, so I actually use Endeavor on Credilli, and then I can use Quick Attack, knock out Credilli with Swallow. In comes Claydol. I probably won't outspeed, so I'm going to go into Beldum. It goes for Ancient Power. Thankfully, no Ancient Power boost. Now I can finally send out Swampert. It goes for Light Screen, which is very irritating. I'm going to try to freeze it here, and you can see how much Earthquake is doing. I might need to stall a little bit. So let's stall by sending out Swallow. It actually withdraws and goes into Aggron, which is fine because I can go into Swampert. It goes for Dragon Claw, which does next to nothing. Earthquake doesn't knock it out as we talked about, but it's going to go for Solar Beam, and look at that. We have stalled out the Light Screen. We level up to level 62. Swallow's level 33, which is pretty cool. See, Swallow's still playing an integral role. Now, unfortunately, because enough Pokemon have fainted, Steven can use another full restore on Skarmory, but we get pretty lucky with a critical hit, and we knock it out. Our Moldo, we're not in Torrent range, so we don't knock it out, but Slash will put us right within Torrent range. We can knock it out with 24, now 36 HP to spare. Claydol, we don't outspeed, however. And you can see my face. I expected an outspeed there. We don't get it. And you can see I'm looking at our speed stats, and I'm just kind of beside myself because I realize that's probably the end of this battle. Had we outsped, it would have been interesting. I can try for Destiny Bond strats, but that's what I was planning to do versus Metagross. This is going to take quite a bit of luck, but I think we can do this. We've been at this battle for over half an hour, and you can tell why it's taken so long. 10% chance right off the bat? Not great. Skarmory withdraws into Aggron, which I'm not thrilled about. Aggron's actually one of the easier Pokemon to knock out, but hey, a knockout's a knockout. So we knock out Aggron, and we have 4 HP now. Big difference. I'm going to try to hope for Focus Band, and I actually get it, which is insane. That means we can knock out Claydol, and that's going to be huge. Credilli comes out and might as well try for another Focus Band. We only have one more power point for Endeavor anyway, and I actually just outspeed Credilli. That's pretty cool. Now we're going to send out Wobbuffet because Steven's going to use a full restore here, which I anticipate, and that means Wobbuffet does its job and knock out Credilli. We don't have Wobbuffet for Metagross, but Swampert does have Earthquake. Skarmory is pretty weak. Another full restore. Man, these trainers love their healing items. Aerial Ace, Surf, oh, Spikes. Never mind. That's better. We don't really want to switch much more, so this is good. Our Maldo comes out. We outspeed with Surf, and we have almost full health. Slash does a lot of damage, but as long as we tank this, we should be fine, right? We don't outspeed. Metagross goes for Earthquake, and we survive on exactly 2 HP with Shell Bell 17. But it doesn't matter. I don't have Quick Claw on Swampert, so that's the battle. Whoa! Meteor Mash misses, and we don't win! No! No, the range! This time it isn't in our favor. Well, Steven decides to heal. I go for Earthquake, and we get a critical hit! I don't want to know how insanely lucky that was. I mean, I think we got, what, 2 focus bands, great swaps. All right, guys, you know what? A win is a win. Thank you all for watching. This was really, really fun to do. Now you can't say I skipped any battles. 72 battles to beat Steven. Emerald is done. It took a while, but it is completely done, and I'll see you all next time. Take care.